Hey, it's not Frazier Friday, okay? It's Todd Father Technology Day. Todd Father, I think this is your first show away from your cozy studio, so we're paying attention, but your friends are here, okay? I love you all the time. Kratz loves you 50% of the time, so we'll help you, okay? If you need something, we're here.
I figured it out. I can see myself and you guys now, so I'm good.
You look good. You look young. You look fresh. A little Florida sunshine on you.
No, I had to get a haircut. I had the Grizzly Adams beard going, and got to get the lined up a little bit now. Ready to rock, man. Here, this weather out here is incredible. I don't want to go home.
It's so nice. It's just, you don't have to look. It's 80 and sunny every day. It's not even raining lately, which is weird. No. I could use a little, 1:30 p.m. Eastern rain. We're in the show anyway. I get a nice free car wash, but it's okay. It'll come back. Anyway, we're going to charge right away because we have a lot to get to, and it's related to a game that Todd Father knows more about than basically anyone else because he was there.
He's charging the mound.
The Yankees are the road team in their spring training home, but most importantly, Todd Father and Aaron Judge were giggling and having the best conversation. We've got a nice photo here. If you're listening to us later on, I'd advise you to check it out. It was posted by the Yankees, Todd Father and Aaron Judge. What were you guys giggling about?
Yeah, that was a good one. We were chit-chatting before, just catching up, and then, he's asked how my son was doing. I explained to him he hit his first home run, and he's like, let me see. So I show him the video, and I showed him basically our little thing we did that he promised. I had to promise him to do, like fake handoff as he's rounding third and pretend to throw him a touchdown pass. And him and I just started laughing out loud. And then he did this Euro step thing. I'm like, dude, you got to act like you've been there before. And we were just laughing about the whole thing, man. I told my son, he's like, you got to be kidding me. This is so cool. I'm like, yeah. So we had a good laugh before the game, and it's good to catch up with some old buddies. There's not too many Kratzy out there that you and I played with, so we gotta stick together. And when we go see some guys and when they play,
there's still tons that I played with because I played with so many of them, and they were all super young. So I'm good to go. But a couple things. First of all, your son isn't Giancarlo Stanton. You can't take his hand off to throw the pass. So let your son be creative. Let him do his own thing. Secondly, you get haircuts because you go on that network and you're not getting haircuts for foul territory. And 3, how soon is Judge coming on the show? Because you're over here. So when's he coming on the show? Was that one of the questions, or is that what you guys were laughing about? Like, I ain't never coming on the show.
Listen, it's hard. It's hard to get these guys to come on the show, man. When you're having a good conversation, it's tough just to, go in there and be like, oh, and by the way, it's hard. I'm going to work. I'm going to work at that today.
There you go. Mm-hmm. We need Frazier Fridays to include a little Yanks love. Yeah, Judge is one of the last remaining superstars to shield us off, but we might be able to get him. We might. I think that giggle might put it over the top.
It might.
If it's just Todd Father, I think we got a shot. All right. Before we get to Jazz, one more thing. Aaron Boone said it was a little bit odd that he shows back up to his home spring training park, and he's a visitor. He left a good luck note and a bottle of tequila in Kevin Cash's desk, manager of the Rays. And Booney said, just my housewarming gift. Like, hey, take care of the place. So what was it like scene-wise? I haven't been there yet. I know that it's spring break and a lot of people have off for holidays and all kinds of stuff up north. So it seemed like it was flooded with Yankee fans. But what was the whole scene like?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. You seeing, new Rays sign over Yankee signs. Rays up. They had a big sign in the outfield looking, out over Dale Mabry highway over there and explaining it says, Rays up, and then it says, thank you, Yankees on the bottom. I thought that was pretty cool. The clubhouse, the home clubhouse is all renovated and absolutely dynamite. It looks like a big league clubhouse. The visiting side still pretty much the same. It actually looks a little bit better than what it was. A little crammed in there. They had, it seemed like one of those COVID years. Like where the media used to eat is now the lunch and dinner room for the visiting teams. The training room is all the way on the opposite side. The weight room is state of the art. It's absolutely incredible. There's still some Yankee things. It's George Steinbrenner's statue was one thing they said you can't touch. That's staying up. There's little Yankee logos on the chairs. There's some things that they really, if you're going to nitpick everything, I mean, it's just not even worth it. But it is. It's still a nice, beautiful stadium. It was packed house last night. And, the amenities for the home side are absolutely incredible. They did a really good job.
You did a great job last night on the game. I made sure I listened to Yes Network so Todd, you're a natural at it. You flow. It sounds good. What I thought was cool, what Booney said was about how it's weird. Todd, you can attest to this. You played for a couple different teams. When you go to spring training, especially when you go to spring training like a couple years in a row at one place, and you're like, oh, wait, I'm going back to that place again as a visitor. You almost like you start walking down the hall to go to because the Yankees walk in the hallway is really far to get to the clubhouse at Steinbrenner. You almost miss the door. If you're not thinking, you're on the phone, you're texting, something like that, you forget, oh, wait, yeah, I'm going in as a visitor. And you look around and your teammates, they all are like, what are you doing? Like, we're just going right in here as a visitor. But you did it so much. I wonder how it is for the Yankees because everybody gets off the bus and they're like, oh, yeah, we're just going to go to – wait a minute. Nope, we're going to the visiting side. I think it'll be weird.
Yeah, I think, we took the last bus and there was 3 or 4 guys on there, Bellinger and, Jazz and a couple guys. They went straight on the field. They didn't even walk in the back. So, to get that impression, I walked on the back and, that's their first stop is the visiting clubhouse. And, not much was really said about it. It just clubhouse was really empty. It's kind of not the spot to be in. The spots to be out there or, go in the training room or the weight room, wherever you have to be. But, yeah, not many guys were sitting in there. Just, it's one of those – it's a minor league park, dude. I mean, it gets crammed in there. So when you got the media and everybody in there, it was kind of tough. But I was in the dugout the whole time, man. It was beautiful out watching some BP and chit-chatting away with some, people you haven't seen in a while.
I like it. Yeah, Kratz did his flex. What was that, yesterday? Oh, it wasn't just BP passes. I was just roaming along the
illegally
track. Yeah, illegally. So, all right, that's great, though. I agree. I was listening to Todd Father. It was awesome. Good call. Keep it up. And now let's talk Jazz. Showtime.
Steer right.
Rays were up 3-1. They end up falling 6-3. Here's where the game is already 6-3 in the top of the 7th. Jazz gets rung up on a 3-2 pitch from Mason Montgomery, and it was not a strike, and so he gets booted. Jazz said afterward that he felt like he didn't say anything wrong before he got rung up, and he said he definitely said wrong things after he got rung up that would lead to an ejection. He then went to the clubhouse and tweeted, not even bleeping close. And there were some people that threw out there an MLBPA policy. That's not true. I actually fact-checked with multiple sources. It's an MLB policy, obviously, which makes much more sense about being able to do the social media thing technically during a game and in the clubhouse. Jazz basically said, I don't care. I'll pay whatever fine. It's not like he's going to get suspended for that. So, Todd Father, what did we see? And also, in the at-bat earlier, I'm pretty sure that he missed a call on the other side. I'm trying to remember what the home plate ump's name was.
He did.
He did,
John
right?
Bacon.
So
John Bacon.
I'm like, did he? Yeah, Tom Payne. Did he try to give one back?
No.
Not
so
Tom
here,
Payne.
John Bacon was the guy's name. I honestly felt like there was, I think it was a tough day for John at the end of the day. I feel like there was a lot of calls, we could have talked about on the broadcast. But, you don't want to nitpick every single call. The pitch before he got thrown out was strike 3. I mean, that was a blatant strike. He missed that call. And, I go back as a player, the first thing I think of is it a makeup call, and you don't always want to think about that. But, it does happen in the game. But, again, that next pitch was really a ball. And, that's the frustrating part. You're facing Montgomery, left-hander who's throwing 100-plus miles an hour, and you're working your butt off to get to a 3-2 count. And I feel Jazz's pain at the end of the day. You missed the call. Not my problem. And it's like, well, I didn't swing the bat. So if I'm an umpire, it's not my problem. You struck out. So it's vice versa. But then the next pitch is a good ball down and you ring them up on strike 3. Yeah, that's frustrating. You're up 6-3 in the game. You don't want to get thrown out in the 7th inning. But that's very frustrating part. Jazz lost his cool. He even said that. He says he's gotten better at all this kind of stuff. But again, as an umpire, you got to just lock it in a little more. And I thought, he did call some pitches that were, that should have gone the other way during the whole game. And it was for both teams, though.
It was for both teams. It was, one on the plate, ball, one off the plate, strike. He didn't have the best game, but, his ump scorecard wasn't awful. What I thought was funny was I was watching the game with my family, and every time it was a strike 3 call, he was like – and it was like he was flipping the bird to the guy he just struck out. It was every time. I've never seen – John Bacon came up in the minor leagues with me, and I just never really saw it, but that was a strike 3 call. He gave Jazz the bird. And are we supposed to not be on – should Major League Baseball change that? Like, why can't people be on Twitter during games? Would that be live interaction, or is there something that we're worried about guys doing?
It's stupid. Yeah. It's
you know what I'm saying?
They don't want anybody on the internet. They don't want anybody on the internet.
He's out of the game. What are you worried about? He's out of the game. In
my opinion, he can go back and, look at some things during the game and, the next thing be like, yo, you guys got to see this. Look what this guy umpire did. You got to see, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but there's, you know how the internet can be. I don't remember that. I remember when they put that rule in, and they had people walking around in the clubhouse watching you basically, change and don't touch your phone. Don't you dare go to a computer. Like it was really strange, but it was, they would find you and stuff. It was weird.
Should Major League Baseball change that to no social media? Because I think one of the best things that the big Major League Baseball objectives is more connection with players. And one of the cool things that they've done is they've mic'd up guys. Not one person has been dumb. Fans enjoy it. Overall, they enjoy it. Isn't there something that we could do? If players and teams don't feel like it's a distraction, isn't there a way that people could really connect? Oh my gosh, Jazz is going to be tweeting during the 3rd inning. Bing, 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 bing. I don't know. Am I thinking way too outside the box there?
I honestly think they'll be afraid of what some people are going to say. You don't want to crush anybody. If you're going to go up there and be like, hey man, I saw a nice 2-2 pitch. I was thinking this, thinking that, and I got a good pitch to hit and I hit it out of the park. Let's go Yankees. That's pretty cool. But I would say this, baseball is probably the only sport you could probably do that because there's so much downtime in between. And it would be the only sport. You couldn't do that really for, you think of basketball, halftime would be the only time you could really do it. Football, halftime as well, but you only got 15 minutes to really get after it. So,
yeah, I don't see it in game, but my thing is post game. Who cares if Jazz heads to his phone and says that umpire had a bad day, or the pitcher who just went 8 shutout innings is, in the clubhouse and says, I was pitching today for, my son. He told me that he wanted me to do X, Y, Z. That stuff's cool. Obviously, they'll say that to the media after the game, but you also are only affecting how many players, Kratz. If you suddenly said, as MLB, hey, you can tweet after you're out of a game, even if it's still during the game, how many players would actually take them up on that? 10?
Yeah, I think there'd be a generation of players that would start it. I couldn't have. That would have been distracting to me as a player. But I'm saying, what do fans do? Let's say there's a pitching change or there's something, even in between innings. Fans, I was just at the Pirates game, the 100 to 200 fans that were there, they'd pick their phone up and they'd go, when there's downtime. What if now there's something there that's interacting them from the game? Oh, Did you see what Rhys Hoskins said after his at bat? Like this, like I don't know.
Jamin said in the chat, first bad Kratz take I may have ever heard on this program.
Thank you, Jamin.
That's really great. That's a compliment.
Jamin. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
Yeah. Now
yes,
he's going to think
the game,
really differently now. Shame.
That's true. Right. One mess up, out of
That's okay.
9 million.
Sorry, Jamin.
But during the game, even if the league said it was okay, you'd get a lot of pushback from teams. Teams aren't going to want players putting out their thoughts to the world on a device during a game.
Or
we just talked about also a team that doesn't even want their players on their phones in the clubhouse at all.
Yeah, I get it. Sorry, Jamin. I'm thinking outside the box.
Yeah. Hey, you know me. I'm all for all that stuff. Anyway, the Yankees win the game 6-3. Will Warren only went 1 2/3, got 5 outs. Bullpen picked up the pace the rest of the way. Junior Caminero had a 2-run dinger. Apparently, Stanton left him a nice little, what was it, a bat that he left for him? Was it a torp? Because he's a torp. They're both torp guys.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that, but I did find out that's where Bernie Williams was too as well. So there's some good company in that locker room right there.
And lastly, Todd, Father, anything else we should know for the weekend? Yanks are 12-7. Rays are okay for now. I don't remember what their record is at the moment. Ben Rice looks pretty damn good. And
yeah,
he worked out a ton in the offseason because I saw him in person. I've seen him, on our show a couple times. His neck's got beef now.
Dude, these guys are huge, man. Some of them might not be the tallest, but they are absolutely monsters of human beings, and they are strong. And yeah, I would say Ben Rice, man, this guy is so short and sweet to the baseball right now, and career high 4 hits, probably almost got 5 hits, hit the ball hard to first base his last at bat, but had some clutch hits. I mean, him in the 2-hole, that looks pretty good. Get on base for Judge and the other guys. Who would have thought Paul Goldschmidt would be a leadoff guy? So I find that absolutely amazing too as well. So they look pretty good, man. They look really good.
Yep. All right. Well, you can listen to Todd Father all weekend long on the Yankees broadcast, and this show covers all 30. So we do the transition as well as anyone. You go from the Yanks, who have been talked about more in baseball over the past 20 years than any team, to the Colorado Rockies next. When we charge, we'll address their hitting coach change. AJ, it is time for people to get some new clubs, and to do that, they need to go to their local PXG for a fitting, right?
No doubt. I was there today. I've been there before. Last time I was there, they gave me this killer gap wedge. Look at that sweet spot, Scott. It is worn out. That is right in the sweet spot right there. So I went and got new clubs today, new irons. But more importantly, I got this bad boy. I got me a new putter. This is my old putter. It's on order. Yes, that's my putter cover. PXG Mustang putter. Now I'm going to the Allen putter. They talked me into it because I was draining some putts today. Bob, the guy who helped me out, he helped me with my irons. He got them teed up perfectly. But then we went to the putting green. I was draining them putts because that's the most important part of golf.
PXG fittings are fun. Schedule your fitting today. As you can hear from AJ, for a limited time, you could save up to 20% on your entire order. Head over to pxg.com/foul. That's pxg.com/foul to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/FOUL. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Hey, we're back. Patrick Corbin apparently got bit by something venomous that caused his foot to get all swollen, and he was barely walking around the clubhouse. Did you guys see this? Yeah, the lead was buried. He ended up still pitching on Wednesday, gave up 1 run in 5 1/3, and he's been pretty decent for them. And they told us all the news about how he got messed up. And there's all the quotes. I don't know if we'll have time to read it all during the break here. But anyway, Todd Father, I don't know if I've ever heard of this one. Have you?
No, man, this is crazy. I know when I see a spider in the house, I gotta see you later, brother. I'm not a big insect guy. I'm not a big bug guy at all. And that's crazy, man. I hope he feels better. I hope he gets better soon. But that's scary. That's scary, man. And little thing like that cannot make you move and you feel terrible. Oh, man, that's spooky.
Yeah, nobody. Ugh, a spider? He's gonna have some spidey sense. He's gonna have an extra tackle on that pitch, on his pitches now. Every time they check him, just like Spiderman. If you don't know the joke, it's Spider.
I was like, Kratz has to give us something on this. There's got to be something. So there you go. And it was part of the Rangers sweeping the Angels, by the way. It was a tough sweep for the Angels. Yesterday, the Rangers won 5-3. Kumar Rocker was really good. Slider was freezing hitters, 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 8 Ks, homers for Seager.
My rookie of the year. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Keeping an eye on your boy Rocker. But Rangers offense has just been and that's actually a problem for the league because I think it's eventually going to be great.
He's charging the mound.
We are not even 20 games into the season for the Colorado Rockies, and they are switching hitting coaches. Veteran coach Hensley Mullins is being replaced by Clint Hurdle, who used to be the manager of the Rockies. And he has been the assistant to the general manager, Bill Schmidt. And now he is going to be their hitting coach. I know you've had some time with Clint in the past. He's been on this show too. Kratz, man, that Rockies offense doesn't look good after a few weeks. Whoop! On to the next hitting coach. And now they're going to lead the league, aren't they?
I have to take a deep breath before I answer this one because Bam Bam, Hensley Mullins, is one of the best hitting coaches that I've ever had. Not because of his hitting techniques that he teaches, just about how he connects with guys. He was my first hitting coach in the Arizona Fall League in 2005. Then he ended up being the hitting coach for the Giants for a millennium. And I think he left there after Bochy left. And like this guy just knows how to connect with each player. And to fire him, I don't know. I'm not just gonna bust on the Rockies. But you brought in Clint Hurdle because you know him. Like I don't know what the Clint Hurdle. You know, he sends out like really inspiring emails and stuff to people. He's big, boisterous, loud guy. I guess the Rockies know him. You bring him back. I don't really know. I mean, it's tough. I hope it works out for the hitters because they lost a good hitting coach in Bam Bam, unless Bam Bam's changed in the last 5 years, which I doubt. And, you know, good luck. Good luck with Clint.
Yeah, there's not much to say. Bam Bam is one of the best out there. He's not only a good hitting coach, he's a good friend. He's a funny guy, man. He's a jokester. Everybody flocks to him when he has something to say. We text all the time, especially during the Little League World Series. You know, Curacau's in there. He's like, Frazier, take care of my boys, this and that. So we still have a good little relationship. Man, these are one of the better guys to let go. I mean, you can't always blame a coach, for other people's downfalls. I mean, it's not his fault that they're not hitting. I mean, maybe there's part of it. Don't get me wrong. But knowing Bam Bam, he's in there every day. You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it sometimes. The old saying. This dude is an absolute beast. I hope he finds himself on his feet again with another team because just a glue guy as a coach per se.
Yeah, Mullins has had a really successful career. I mean, for the Rockies, they're the worst team in baseball right now. They have the worst run differential in baseball right now. Most of their offensive stats look putrid. Is anyone surprised? I mean, what did we expect?
I mean, they got rid of Nolan Jones, the one guy that was raking before. Like, what are we in? What did you say, 20? How many games in?
They're 18, I believe, games in.
This goes to a larger, to me, what the larger problem with the Rockies is. It is a small group think. It's the same guys. And I don't think Bam Bam is part of that group. Now, I'm not saying that's why he was run out. I'm not saying he's innocent of everything. But, like, if you're brought in from the outside, there might be some new things. There might be some ways. Whatever it is, he can connect with players He's done it for a long time. It's okay if he's saying different things that he's seen with other organizations where he has all these rings on his finger from. Like maybe just listen and let it marinate for a little bit and not just go back to, oh, well, I'm just going to go get my Clint from the block. I'm just going to get Clint Hurdle from our run back in the day.
It's weird. Yeah. Can I ask you guys a question on a player specifically, Todd Father, like what a hitting coach can do with a player like this? Ezequiel Tovar is very talented, very toolsy, very good on defense. He's Javi Baez light. He swings at everything. If you watch an AB with him, he swings at everything. So if you deliver something in the zone, he's all over it. If you don't, which most pitchers are adjusting to, he's still all over it and he's not hitting it or he's making poor contact. How do you work with a guy on that?
Well, you try and get in his head. Like, first off, I'd be like, what is your game plan? What are you thinking when you go up to the plate? Have you studied? Have you looked at film? Have you looked at your last 20, 30 at-bats on the computer to see, making sure you're in the right position to hit? Have you looked at 20 to 30 at-bats of what the pitcher you're facing today? Where do you hit well? What don't you hit well? As a hitting coach, you go over every little thing. It's a matter of whether they want to listen and do the homework. This is your job, and at the end of the day, as a hitting coach, you're in the cage waiting to do some stuff, but you also get in there mentally a little bit too as well. So what's your game plan, buddy? What are you doing when you're in the box? What are you thinking of? And then you can go from there, because you can't change somebody's swing overnight, especially since they're in the major leagues. That's going to be their swing. You can move them inside the box, outside. I remember the late, great Pete Rose used to tell me when I was struggling, move around a little bit, choke up on the bat, move up in the box, move back, in, out. Whatever it is, something different, because you have to have a game plan going up there, and you can't just throw it out the window just because you see a pitch you want to mash and it's not a strike. You got to have a game plan.
Yeah, and that's why Todd and I didn't say anything about how Bam Bam teaches the swing path or like your shoulder placement or anything. It's about the conversation that you're having with that particular guy. And he came from a land of success, and that kind of stuff takes time to develop it, not 18 games. So Tovar's still learning. Tovar is going to be a huge piece in this organization. He's going to have to know that he swings at a lot of pitches, but how can we get him to make better swing decisions? And Bam Bam's great at that stuff.
Yeah, well, now he'll be able to help another team that is willing to accept someone from the outside, because apparently it's almost like a college professor. You have to have tenure with the Rockies, and then they'll respect you. It's just weird. But I feel for Rockies fans, the organization definitely needs to get more outside voices, more outside help. And for now, that's just not happening. Sometimes they do a decent job of drafting. Like Chase Dollander looks like he could be a star for them towards the top of a rotation. But there's a lot that needs to be fixed there. And there are 4 pretty well-run organizations in front of them. That makes it even more difficult, because it looks right now like it's the top division in baseball, and that will really hold you down. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any easier for the next few years. So if that didn't make you feel good as a Rockies fan, the only advice I can offer you, enjoy the games when you're there and root for someone else, or have a secondary team. That's probably the best way to look at it. They're 3-15. They're not making the playoffs this year. They're going to lose 100-plus games. All right, coming up next, we are going to hit a little That's What He Said early on. All of our guest segments are a little later today, but we have some good ones. But we'll go over the Padres actually coming up.
Your hair is so much more than what you see when you look in the mirror. With Nutrafol's science-backed whole-body approach, nourish growth from within and achieve your best hair yet.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
Physician formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting key root causes of thinning like stress, hormones, and aging through whole body health.
Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code FOUL. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL. Couple injury updates. Here's one on Grayson Rodriguez. He was scratched from his side session yesterday. He's got a sore shoulder. He had an MRI. We haven't heard anything since. That was yesterday, late afternoon. We'll let you know. That's not great. And we are going to talk Orioles a little bit with Kenny Ballgame Rosenthal coming up, but it's a bummer. You know, Grayson's obviously really good. He's got top-end stuff. It's also good for the game, which we always root for as well. He comes on the show pretty frequently, and he's really fun to listen to. So overall, that's a bad loss for the Orioles if they can't get him back on the mound somewhat soon, guys.
Yeah, and I think sore shoulder, it's bland to me. You know, it's one of those things where I'm hoping it's nothing more serious. Labrum, I don't know. Hopefully it's just dead arm or something that. Hopefully it's just sore shoulder. But when you hear something like that and the guy's not going to be able to pitch, there's some underlying factors there. They're going to have to go in and really look at that for sure.
Never want to see it, especially when he had an elbow. Now it's a shoulder. We got to get it all right, or else something else gets affected. Because he's a good one, and the O's need him.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, coming up next, we're talking Friars, and we'll get to a little quote from Phil Maton for That's What He Said. Still to come, obviously. Jason Adam, Padres reliever, Kenny Ballgame Rosenthal, and Jackson Chourio Day.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Well, what I see, it's the simplest thing. They're coming in, throwing strikes. They're being very aggressive every time they come in. But here's the great part is usually when you're with a great bullpen, you have really good bullpens. You got 2 lockdown guys. If you're very blessed, you got 3 lockdown guys. We got 4 lockdown guys. And even the guys that we're not even talking about, they're coming in, pounding the zone and giving breathers to everybody else. But when you have 4 guys, most of the time you need 3 guys for a lockdown bullpen. But they're coming in, pounding the zone. And really the bullpen is one of those things that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, and that's fine. Every bullpen guy will say that. Hey, talk about the offense, talk about the starters. Don't worry, because at the end of the season, you're all going to want us. That's when it counts. And that's what I love about these guys right now. Robert Suarez and all those guys are not eating up the limelight, the interviews, this and that. They're just going to do their job.
So that's Heath Bell, former Padres closer, also chicken wing king. That's what the shirt said. So he can down those chicken wings, which Jim Palmer had never tried in his life, and he's almost 80 years old. Sorry to get off topic.
I remember hearing that yesterday.
I saw that.
That was crazy.
Dude, that's serious.
Yeah.
He looked freaked out by the bones part because he's like, well, what's that? He goes, chicken tenders. He's like, oh yeah, I'll eat the chicken tenders. But I'm not messing with the bone. He didn't like it. That was crazy to me. Come on, dude.
No.
He said it was more remember he brought up the skin part. He doesn't like the skin too. He doesn't like skin on any.
I didn't hear that
meat.
part of it.
Yeah, it was the skin part that it brought up. I don't like skin. Well, there you go. I never tried a chicken one. Okay.
Yeah, he did point out that the skin is freaking him out, the bones. So it's a little too close to human similarities, I guess, for him. I don't know. Skin and bones.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I think that makes me laugh.
Yeah. We tweeted about it the other day. FT Twitter is the best. So if you want to check it out, at Foul Territory TV. Anyway, the Padres bullpen. So Kyle Glazer tweeted about how the combination of Adrian Morejon, Jeremiah Estrada, Jason Adam, who's joining us soon, and Robert Suarez have this combined line. 39 innings, 16 hits, 3 runs, 13 walks, 46 strikeouts. That is lights out. And Kratz, this is a bullpen that lost a guy who they acquired at the trade deadline and were very excited about, and he was great. And they were very close to taking down the Dodgers and probably winning a World Series. That name, by the way, is Tanner Scott, who's now on the Dodgers. But the Padres bullpen is still really damn good.
They're so good. And they've kind of created these guys. They've kind of put I got to go back to the list here, but I know Morejon was out of Cuba, I think, and he was up in the big leagues with the Padres first at like 20. That was, I don't know how many years ago. And then you also have Estrada. He came out of nowhere. Jason Adam, I mean, we'll get to him when we talk to him. Like, this dude's been cast off by a lot of people. If you watch him throw, he kind of fits into what the Padres are doing in the sense that you have somebody from all different angles everywhere. I mean, Jason Adams, you would never teach somebody to throw like that. And yet he's had to battle through injuries. He's had to battle through all that stuff to be able to get to where he's at. And like, this team built that, like the Padres built this. Kudos to AJ Preller and kudos to Ruben Niebla, their pitching coach. Like, not creating something out of nothing, but did we know who Robert Suarez was when he came from Japan? Padres did. He figured it out, and then the Padres locked him up. Like, they have something brewing, and this season so far has been historic how they've started.
And listen, and I won't be long with this, but when you have a good bullpen, there is really, you can have a bad day hitting, you can have a bad start and guy come out, vice versa, one way or another. But when you get to that bullpen, it's like, oh, man, all right, we're okay. We're okay. We can find a way. And they'll be in all these games because of this bullpen. And then eventually they start hitting and they play well at home and they have good starting pitching too as well. I mean, it's a really, really good team, and they got some guys to prove it. And it's very satisfying. If I'm a San Diego fan, I'm very happy right now. And they just got to keep on cruising along, man. And you think about the Dodgers, yeah, they're going to do well, but this Padres team is going to be right on their heels for the rest of the year, in my opinion.
And there's a great show with great info, so we're going to plug it. It's right next to me on your screen, the QR code, but we'll have it take up the whole screen for a moment because Kyle Glazer works his tail off. He's really dialed in. He's the host of that show. Friar Territory, look it up. Mike Cameron's on there, and so is Heath Bell, who you just heard from. So you got 2 former big leaguers with Padres ties, and they're watching the games. They're breaking it down. Kyle covered the team as a beat writer in the past, so it's really good stuff. Give it a listen. All right, let's get to Phil Maton. So he told the New York Post he's out for revenge against 29 teams, including the Mets. Mets are in a series with the Cardinals right now because he felt like the free agency snub was personal. He signed on March 13th, which is very late. 1 year, $2 million, a major league deal with the Cardinals. He's a setup guy for them right now. He's off to a fire start, too. I mean, he's probably going to get traded in a couple months, so he better not talk too much smack about anyone because the Mets might be like, wait, don't be mad, but we want you back. We didn't have room then, but we want you back. You and your 9 1/3, no runs, 4 hits, and 11 punch-outs. Oh, and no walks. I mean, he's been one of the best relievers in baseball so far this year. So I'll take the smoke. Top father, if he's pissed right now at everyone else, okay. I mean, let that narrative ride out the whole year. Have a great season. Probably get dealt to another team, and you'll get more money next offseason.
Yeah, and I know you, Scott, you love this talk right here. You're like, yeah, baby. Let everybody know. And listen, if you got it, you got it. He's flaunting it right now. Little under 10 innings, as you said, absolutely dominant. I love the talk. I love, when you get interviewed by somebody, they give you like a little juice there, a little flair. Like, yeah, okay. I believe in this guy too as well. And yeah, he is. He's a really good pitcher. I think he's having a lot of fun out there too as well. Like if you're going to have a quote like this, you are having fun and you are dominating. So again, yeah, he's got an opportunity to get traded, but also an opportunity to help his ball club out too as well. And you never know what could happen at the end.
I would just say keep that fire. He's a 15th rounder. Like the career he's had, I feel like you always kind of have that like nobody really wants me. It's not like when a dude gets picked in the first round, but it's like the 20th pick in the first round and he's like, oh, everybody's always just bet against me. Like it's like, whoa, pump the brakes. People have always been betting against Phil Maton. He doesn't throw 95 to 100. He just gets outs. He gets outs. And he had a little blip in his season last year when he was with the Rays. But if you look at his numbers when he was with the Mets, like he figured it back out to be the Phil Maton. But he's getting up there in age. And I guess clearly we weren't going to spend on anybody but Tanner Scott and Carlos Estevez this offseason. David Robertson's still out there. Like I'm sure they're probably offering him the $2 to $4 million, $4 to $5 million deals. Phil Maton's probably not asking for a multi-year deal. I don't know. Hopefully one day we can get him on and we can ask him, because I love when dudes talk like this, because this is the mentality. Unless you're one of the dudes that throws $1 billion or you hit all the dingers, this is the mentality you have to have, because screw everybody else for not picking me up. I'm gonna shove it to you in the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th inning.
Yeah, and he's gotten some respect in the past. Like he was on a deal last year for $6.5 million for a reliever of his caliber. That's pretty good. And he's made $14 million in his career. Now, I'm totally on his side with the way that he performed with the Mets. But that is the problem, Kratz. I mean, he had a 4.5 ERA with the Rays. Again, we're not just going off ERA. And in fact, if we were, he would have been paid more this offseason because he had a 2.5 and 28 2/3 with the Mets, and had some struggles in the playoffs. But teams evaluate players, especially pitchers, differently now. I feel like that's pretty fair to say, Kratz. Sometimes that's a good thing, right? We see some players that have stuff that project that haven't really produced the way you think they should, and they get paid pretty well. And then you have the reverse of this where you're like, this guy's good. What am I missing? Jose Quintana versus Frankie Montas. We talk a lot about in this show about this. Quintana is making significantly less. I think he is much better at run prevention, which is the name of the game, but it's not sexy stuff. Montas showed some more swing and miss with what he got. This started, in my mind, in the modern revolution of baseball and free agent signings with someone like, wasn't it Morton who signed for big money? Or there might have been even someone after him. There's been a few where they sign and you're like, that seems like an overpay. And then you're like, oh, they saw something. I mean, Zach Wheeler, when you're going to the top of the food chain, didn't sign for that much with that initial contract with the Phillies. Yeah. And people are like, you got that much? And it's like, actually, he deserved triple.
Exactly.
That contract was ridiculous. But I remember back in the day when Ian Kennedy signed, I think, with the Royals. It was like, whoa, but this dude just goes out and he produces, and they found a value in him that would play at their park. I don't see how teams don't find value in Phil Maton. Do they want him over Tanner Scott? No. Do the Yankees need a guy like that in their bullpen right now because Will Warren went 1 2/3? Yes. I'm saying the Yankees. I'm not saying they need him specifically. I'm saying every team needs guys like this. He pitched in the playoffs. They're going to look at it and go, I don't know. I don't know if his stuff plays in the playoffs or not. Like, look at what he does in a full season. You need to get through the full season to make it to the playoffs. And I'm on Phil's side on this one. I think he's a legit reliever, and these kind of guys should have a nice little $4 to $6 million contract every year until they prove they shouldn't. And he didn't prove that last year.
Ian Kennedy got 5 years, $70 million a long time ago. I think it was 2015 or 16 with the Royals. That was a lot for him. But they were buying the potential. Yeah, that happens. There was a time period where spin rate was kind of new for front offices, and they'd look at anybody that had high spin and throw a bunch of money at him. And some of them worked really well, and some of them bombed.
and he made all his starts. There's value in being out there. If you're healthy, you're out there. There's super value in that, and he did it.
Mm-hmm. All right, FT fam, we'll step aside. We're going to get ready for Jason Adam, first up on the guest list. Todd Father, I'm looking for premium clothes at an affordable price. I want it to fit nice. I want it to make all the features that we want to point out look nice. And I want softness.
Yes.
What do I do?
You hit up True Classic. I mean, these shirts that I have on right now, not only is it fitting and it's soft, it makes my arms look a little bigger too as well. The comfort is all I ask for in clothing, and that's the biggest part. And this is what they have. The jeans are comfortable too as well. Everything that you put on right now from True Classic is special. It's something I'm going to buy in all different colors.
It's 100% perfect fit guarantee, easy returns, free shipping on all orders. And whether you're bundling up for the cold or you're getting ready for spring, you can level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Just go to the FT exclusive link. That's trueclassic.com/foul to save. trueclassic.com/foul. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today with trueclassic.com/foul. While we're talking up the Padres, 41,562 in the seats a couple days ago. 11th sellout already of the season. You had a tweet from someone saying, starting to realize no one in San Diego works. No, they do. I got one for you. They're good. They invest in their franchise. They constantly create more transaction activity that sparks a fan base, keeps them very relevant in the news. And on top of everything else, Todd Father, how many other pro franchises are there in the basketball, football category?
Yeah. I'm not zero because in that area you're talking about.
They got one team. Yeah. I know they have soccer.
Yeah,
they have one team in the core four.
And they got to stick to that squad, and it's a good squad. And guess what? It's the perfect weather. I always love going to San Diego. You can't not have perfect weather. Even when it's raining, you're going. And it's in a perfect spot too as well. It's a nice area, and they are playing very, very well. So with the likes of Manny Machado, they have a really good squad.
Is this what Major League Baseball should look at? Like, don't just go to the areas where there's already big four. Maybe this is an example of like, hey, when we do expansion, let's go to a city that wants this team but doesn't have other sports. I don't know, just a thought because it's working down there.
It worked for the NBA.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. Hey, we've got Padres reliever Jason Adam back on the show. I think it's been probably about a year. Jason, good to see you. And obviously you're on a new team since we last spoke. So how's life with the San Diego Padres, best record in baseball right now?
Good to see y'all. Yeah, I mean, it's a good life all around. Baseball's good. Life in San Diego's good. Family's good. I got no complaints.
Nice. I like it. Hey, we didn't get to talk to you when that all went down. So how did it go? When you got traded over to San Diego, were you surprised you got traded? And then were you excited to join a club that was going to be in postseason contention because the Rays had a down year?
Yeah, no, I was definitely not surprised. I knew there was enough rumors that I knew there was a chance. And honestly, the front office with Tampa was great. They called me like a week before. They're like, hey, I don't know if you'll get traded. I don't know what'll happen, but just to be honest, we're listening. So we'll keep you updated. So definitely wasn't surprised, but it's always jarring, obviously, just because it's couldn't have gone much further across the country. So the move, the logistics were a hassle, but I was pumped, man. And right when I got to San Diego, everybody, the whole team just brought me in right away. And I think, I mean, we could not, those first few weeks I was there, we could not lose a game. It was some of the most fun baseball. I mean, we'd be down late, come back home, Jackson Merrill homer. It was an insane team to be a part of, and still is, really.
All right, Jay, first of all, before I get to the team you got traded to, your hair is kind of matching the bed behind you. Like, it's not like super messed up, but it's like kind of just how it is, okay?
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's nice. It matches your look. You're a handsome man.
It's refined bedhead.
Is that what it is? See, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know I don't know about that. I got nothing going on up there. I got no bedhead. But this is your second time. This is your second time back with the Padres. The first time you were there, can you give yourself, because you've established yourself as an elite bullpen arm closer when you were with the Rays, like you come in and you strike fear in the hitter. When you were there last time, did going back and putting these colors back on, was it 17 you were there or was it 18? I forget.
It was 17. Yeah, so 17 I was there. I mean, I was rehabbing almost the whole time. So they signed. I became a minor league free agent with the Twins, and I signed there, and still was hurt. And so I think I was striking fear in them at the time was pocketbooks, because they're like, we cannot keep paying for surgeries for this guy that's never going to make it out of the minor leagues. So I mean, I was a navy blue pod in 17. So new colors, new team, but I've always been always enjoyed Preller. Always thought he does a great job. Way back in high school, I thought he was going to draft me with the Rangers. So we've had a long-standing relationship. So I was excited to get back.
Can you put in your mind, though, because when I think about going to a team, I was drafted by the Jays, and I never made the big leagues until I got traded back and made the big leagues. When I put that uniform back on, it looked different. The colors were different. Did it bring back the flood of memories in the sense that you put this Padres uniform on? Did it bring back the flood of memories of what you went through during that time? Because that's when I got to know you, was in the 16, 17 time period.
Yeah, it was very, very much a full circle moment. And I think my wife and I talked about it because we were convinced, like, when I signed with the Padres, we felt great about it. We're like, this is where you're going to play. This is where I'm going to play. I'm going to be here. Like, I feel like I'm going to really have some success in San Diego. And at the time, and it was a no at the time, but apparently it was just a denial, or not a denial, it was a delay. And so we made it back. But thinking back on that time where I couldn't have felt further from the big leagues. And now here we are.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, my question to you is, I mean, the team's playing so well. Is there one person in that clubhouse who just is the leader and everybody just follows? Is there a guy in there that's taking, this Padre team by storm and saying, hey, let's just go out there and be who we are? Like, who's that leader in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think part of what makes this team special is there's not one guy, but there are several. So you got like Manny, obviously Manny, he's the Jefe, and what he says goes in a lot of ways, but he takes that job seriously. He leads us really well. He shows up every day. He's there for us. But we've also, it's like Joe, even though Joe's hurt, he's taken the lead, and he's in our pitchers meetings. He's giving feedback. So we got Joe, we got Bogey. And the list goes on, but really it's like we've got the big guys, and they all take initiative. They're not just there collecting a check. They're not just there trying to take care of themselves. They're there trying to make us win. And if they go 0 for 4, but we win, they're leading the post-game celebration. So it's pretty special.
I've been told on the show to not make players compare or choose, but you have had what I consider some of the best pitching coaches, Pete Walker.
Oh, yeah.
To Kyle Snyder, to now Ruben Niebla. But you're on the Padres right now, so I'm just going to ask, what does Ruben Niebla bring to this staff? He's the pitching coach for the Padres, who everybody who doesn't know. He's the pitching coach.
Ruben's fantastic, yeah. I can't compare, but I've like you said, I've bounced from the best in the league to the best in the league to the best in the league. It's I've been spoiled. But Ruben, he's just he's so detail oriented, so he knows every detail. He knows he essentially, like, I feel like he knows what I'm going to ask before I ask it. But he's also he has an incredible feel for when to just give you some space and just let you go. I think some of the best coaches know when to just keep their mouth shut. And he's selective with what he shares, because a lot of pitching is mental, and you just have to have the confidence that you're going to roll out there and it's going to be there and you're going to dominate. But as soon as as soon as you're willing to listen, as soon as you need it, he's ready, and it's always a productive tip, and it's always digestible, broken down. He knows the ins and outs of it, but he also knows if you give me every little detail, that's going to be paralyzing on the mound. So he just gives you what you need. And there are guys, that want more details, want less details, and he knows his guys. Like he knows us like we're his kids.
All right, so I promised our fans we'd get 1 or 2 questions in. I'll do one now. One of our big Padres fans, I Need Money, is the username. Can you ask who the bullpen BFF is for Jason Adam? He watches every game. He's like, it looks like Adam and Jeremiah Estrada are best of buds. Is this true?
I won't pick one guy. I can't pick one guy. No, I love our bullpen, man. No, Jeremiah's great. He's everybody in that bullpen. It's a fun group. It's you have no choice but to get close to each other, because you're literally sitting down there every night for 2 to 3 hours, and I can't possibly focus that much all night. So you're talking about everything but baseball for the first few innings. So you get close.
Are there any dudes in your career so far, or even you, that absolutely get after it in the bullpen, in the sense of like you see dudes that need to rip a Red Bull like 2 seconds before they go in the game, which I don't get because it takes like 20, 30 minutes for the caffeine to kick in. But is there a routine that you see on your Padres team that you're like, whoa, I haven't seen that before, but hey, it works?
We've got pretty mellow routine. My routine might be among the weirder ones. I just drink coffee because I'm an old man, so that's all I can handle. But I mean, our routines are pretty. I do like somersaults out there and stuff.
What?
To keep the spine moving, but outside, that's as weird as it gets. Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait. You do somersaults? Like you really like you do like we used to do in like second grade gym, like tumbling mat somersaults?
Pretty much. So I'll do a little of that, and I do so I'll roll back and forth, and then the one that I get the most, I'll call it love for, is I grab my legs crisscrossed and roll in circles. But it makes the spine feel good, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, if the spine is good, I mean that I like that. But you said you get love for. The boys give you a hard time. Like, who makes fun of you the most for your like gimmicky things that you're doing that they think you're doing?
I mean, honestly, probably Fritz, our bullpen coach. But no, I told them this because I got traded over here last year, and this was part of my routine, so I just kept doing it. And it was like a week and a half before anyone said anything, and I said, there, now I know I'm in. I'm like, for the first week when everyone's just kind of like, they're like side-eyed me, I'm like, you don't like me yet. You're not saying anything.
That's fair. If people don't like you if they don't talk to you. If they're talking to you, if they're making fun of you, that means they like you. Sorry, that's a weird communication thing. All right, well, then I'll hit you with the toughest question I got for you today. One of your teammates from last year tested positive for steroids this year. When something like that happens, do you feel like as a game we're doing enough to keep steroids out? Or do you feel like you go back and you go, wait a minute. Now, I know you weren't there the whole year. Or do you think we're doing enough or we need to do more as players or the game?
Yeah, that is a hard question because I don't know. I mean, obviously we're doing something right if the guys that are taking them are getting caught, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think I'm scared to death to take because we have the meeting every spring, only take supplements that have this sticker on it. They're certified. And so they have us convinced that if I drink a protein shake from Lifetime Fitness, it might be tainted and I might get popped. So you're scared to take everything. And so I'm sure there's cases where that's what happens, where a guy just makes one bad choice and gets caught, or are there people being malicious skirting around, and they are getting around the rules for a certain amount of time before they finally get caught. I don't know. I'm a fan of as much testing as we need. It's a hassle, obviously, when you got to wait around and pee in a cup after a game, but I think to have just consistency and like no unfair advantages, I guess. I'm all for that. I'm for whatever needs to happen for that.
You guys had a great series last year with the Dodgers. Then they gave the Padres the ultimate compliment when they were a little bit inebriated, talking after winning the World Series, saying the Padres were really our World Series. Can you guys beat them? That's the name of the game.
Yes.
Can the San Diego Padres beat them and go on and win the World Series?
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. I think that series, obviously, that left a sour taste in our mouth because we felt like we had that series won in a lot of ways, but we didn't get the job done. So no, we're hungry for it. We believe in this team. I'd take this team to battle with them and anybody any day of the week. So yeah, that's our intent. There's a lot of season left. We got to take care of business today and the next day, leading up to that. But no, I'd battle with this team over anyone.
When you saw them making a lot of moves this offseason, were you like, oh, this is cool. This is going to make it maybe a bit more challenging, including my friend Tanner Scott. But, I feel like some people react to it like, ugh. But some people react to it like, great. Do everything you want. Great. It'll make it even more fun.
Yeah, it makes it more fun. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for, obviously, as a player, I'm all for guys, go get your contracts, whatever. But and Dodgers, go ahead and assemble whoever you want. We got our team, and we're ready. We're ready to battle. So yeah, I think it's nobody wants. You don't want to win the World Series because every other team was bad. You want to win the World Series because you beat everybody. So
fact. That is a mindset of a current player. So everybody who complains about the Dodgers spending and all this stuff, that's the mindset of a player. So if you have a different mindset as a fan, whatever. That's what players that have to face these dudes are thinking. When you look around your feet, when you look around the field, when you're sitting in the bullpen for 98% of your life and you're watching your team play, do you ever lose the fact that every single one of your players was a shortstop at some point in either the big leagues as an all-star or in the minor leagues as an all-star? Every one of those dudes. Like, do you lose that over 160 games?
No, we talk about it all the time, and it's so nice. Every single, it's like we have the best athletes in the game running around our field, and it saved us who knows how many runs. You get creative throws from the outfield. You get it's the best. I think it's probably the future. I think a lot of teams are going to start doing that because if you can play shortstop, you can play anywhere. So you're versatile. It makes our roster flexible, and it says a lot about the guys too. That obviously, because every kid, I'm sure they all grew up dreaming of playing shortstop. Win a World Series as a shortstop, and then hey, we want you to go play right field. Okay, great. And now we got Toddy hitting 4,000 with a bunch of pumps from right field. So yeah, it's pretty special.
There's another one coming. Not yet. Probably another year or two, but Leo DeVries.
Yeah.
Whoa, relax, Scott. Relax.
So good. What?
I mean, that's like a long way away. This team has got like 68 players that all play shortstop. They don't need another one.
Well, he can play other positions. Yeah. Leo's a big boy. You probably saw him in spring training, right?
Yeah, stud. And don't forget to mention I did play a little shortstop in high school, so there's another one.
Stop. Don't do
there
that.
There you go.
Stop.
That's
Jason,
why they traded for him.
You and I both played shortstop. Todd played shortstop. Todd won a Little League World Series. So if there's anybody that's playing shortstop out of the four of us up here, it's going to be Todd. Okay? No. Not you.
My ankles are far too fragile.
Epic. Well, Jason, this was great. Really awesome to catch up with you again. Thanks for swinging by. Don't be a stranger. Keep doing your thing out there, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Always good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. Appreciate you. Jason Adam, San Diego Padres in baseball right now. Be right back with Ken Rosenthal. FT fam, you got to check out HelloFresh. I know AJ's favorite part of HelloFresh. They've got the 15-minute meals, 3 steps, and you've got your dinner.
I love it. I love it. It comes fresh to your house.
Mm-hmm.
It's pre-packaged with all the ingredients in almost a brown bag. Comes with all the instructions. And what I like most about it is some people say, I don't like to cook. I like to actually chop the ingredients, cook them up. That way it makes it feel like, even though it was pre-packaged, you feel like you're doing something. And it's so fresh. Fresh vegetables, fresh meat. High quality, comes with all the sauces, comes with all the spices you need.
Yes, and if you're like, hey, you guys talk about Green Chef, that's right. They're in the same fam. Both bring different strengths to the table. So check out HelloFresh, of course, and get yourself up to 10 free meals and a free high protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. 1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. I'm hungry. Justin Steele. Yeah, it does. Justin Steele is getting surgery today. Good guy. And he put this out to the world just to thank everyone and show them the photo there too. So he said, appreciate the prayers and thoughts. God is good. He had said surgery today, wanted to take some time to thank everyone who sent their thoughts and, went through the whole deal of, going through that process. He'll miss the rest of the season. I don't think we found out what type of elbow surgery, but I know there's a lot of internal brace going on these days that gets you the quicker recovery. Sounds like it's a little less invasive. If I say anything else, some doctor's going to DM me and say I'm not stating it correctly. So that's the farthest I'll go. But get well soon to Justin Steele.
Yes.
It's tough. He wants to be around for this year. This team's building something. They're playing well right now. I mean, minus losing to the Dodgers early, like this team's playing. They got a tough series right now, but it's tough when a guy's with a team when they just kind of through mediocrity, and he was one of their better players. Now it's like, bang, we're ready to go, make the move for Tucker, and he's got to miss this season. That's tough.
Yeah, and he's their workhorse too. So he was they're one of their big guys. So, you look back, oh man, could it be spring training? Could it be going to Japan? No, it just, the way it is. This is just happens to a bunch of pitchers, and hopefully he gets better soon and never has to look back on this again.
Exactly. All right, Inside Scoop coming up with Ken. Let's hit the Inside Scoop with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal. Freshest article from Ken is up on The Athletic right now about Cedric Mullins, who's been with the team for a while now, and he went through the really tough tanking times too. So, Ken, can you give us more insight on what you wrote about? And the follow-up, of course, is where are the extensions? Where are the offers for any of these Orioles players with the new ownership group?
Well, with Cedric Mullins, he's been a guy that's been through the thick and thin with them. You were just talking about Justin Steele being there for the difficult years or the mediocre years. Mullins was there for the really bad years with the Orioles. And, of course, he is their longest tenured player now. He has been a mainstay in their organization, in the Baltimore community. He's quite popular with fans. But the Orioles are a team that has pushed out players like Anthony Santander to free agency, Austin Hayes to trade, and Mullins likely will be the next to go because they have younger players coming. Colton Cowser can take over center field. Enrique Bradfield Jr. is a top prospect. He's coming, a center field type as well. So the chances of them re-signing Mullins are probably slim, but the point of the article was merely just to point out this guy's had a really nice career for them. 2021 was his best season by far. Hasn't been quite that good since then, but he's off to a great start. He got a huge ovation in their home opener. And it just seems to me that he's one of these guys that gets kind of overlooked.
So this guy, I know he struggled a year before. He had a little problem. I mean, I feel like he is the staple of Orioles right now. And then, you know, for him, I love the decision of coming out and saying, hey, listen, I want to stay here, you know, and I think that's the comfort level you got to have. But it's ultimately up to the Orioles. They have these prospects coming up too, but don't you want a veteran guy there to kind of lead the ship as they move forward?
Well, that's the question, Todd. And it's a fair question with them because they have an incredibly talented group of young position players. We all know that. Maybe Adley Rutschman becomes that leader. Maybe Gunnar Henderson becomes that leader. But you also need the veteran types, the Todd Fraziers and the Erik Kratzes of the world when they were playing, to stabilize a clubhouse, to be a good influence on younger players. And you can't just all have 0 to 3 guys as far as service time is concerned. You need some veterans as well. The question is whether you want to commit to a center fielder who is 30 years old. And at that position, that's relatively old. That's an actual age where it becomes kind of a thing that guys don't play that position anymore at that age. So you could move him to a corner. He does hit for power, but is he what exactly you want in a corner outfield position? I'm not sure. So it is a very fair question to ask of these guys, the Orioles. Hey, what are you doing here? Who's going to be the leader? Who's going to be the guy you latch onto? Because, getting back to Scott's original point, they've yet to sign any of their young players to extensions. Gunnar Henderson is a Scott Boras client. I seriously doubt he'll sign an extension with the Orioles before becoming a free agent. Rutschman is not a Boras client and perhaps would be more open to it, but I don't know where they're at with that. Mike Elias this week, the general manager, spoke about how they're trying to do some things along the lines of extensions, and they've been fairly active with it, but to this point, nothing's been done.
Do you feel like, one last thing on the Orioles, do you feel like it's a lack of forward thinking? Because you said you don't want to have an outfielder like Cedric Mullins at 34 years old. That's with the age. They could have extended him 3 years ago to age 32 and just kept him, seeing that they were going to have Adley coming up. Or 3 years ago, Adley came up. Gunnar was coming up. All these guys were coming up. Is it lack of forward thinking, or is it a fear of what is to come, and that's not what's going to keep them their job in Baltimore?
Erik, my opinion on this would be the biggest driver in what we're talking about is the mere group of young players that they have, the incredible talent that they've been able to draft and develop. And 3 years ago, they could see guys like Cowser coming. I believe he was drafted by then. They knew what they had. They knew they'd be drafting in the future as well other players. They got Bradfield, I believe, 2 years ago in the draft. Yep. So it just seems that's the way they were going. And at that time, keep in mind, they had a very different ownership, an ownership that was not willing to spend much money. Now, David Rubenstein has been willing to spend within the confines of their market size. Their increase in payroll was the second largest in the majors in the offseason. So you can't say they're being cheap, but they have a model, and it's kind of a small market model, which is understandable given their revenue position and all of that. And I don't know that they want to just take gambles, if you want to call it that, on players who are older when they have younger players coming.
Ken, can you remember a series that you were going into and looking at the pitching matchups and being like, whoa, this is the series of pitching matchups for the season? It's lined up for you. You're going into you're watching the Rangers and Dodgers here this weekend. Can you remember in the recent past or recent, like where you've seen names like this on pitching matchups for a series?
My memory on certain things is better than others. It's not great on this one. Now, I do know we have a great matchup tonight, Yamamoto DeGrom, and we have a great matchup on Fox tomorrow, Sasaki and Eovaldi, and the third matchup as well. Tyler Mahle's been arguably the Rangers' best starting pitcher, and Tyler Glasnow, of course, is Tyler Glasnow. So, yeah, it's really good. There's no doubt about that. I am sure, Erik, there have been comparable series in the recent past, but I can't remember exactly. I have memory for weird things, not always the right things, and I'm not coming up with anything right here.
I want to ask a question here. You got DeGrom going tonight, 7 earned runs in his last 2 games. Have you seen anything different from him, or something that you might be like, man, I haven't seen this from years ago with the Mets now. I mean, I still feel like he's a dominant pitcher. He gets that length on his fastball and then that slider he likes to use. Have you seen anything different from him, or it's just the Jacob deGrom of old and guys are finding ways to hit him?
It seems what he has said is that he just is not locating the way he normally does, and that's been the problem. Now, he hasn't pitched much in the last couple of years. Remember, he came back at the end of last season. And I would imagine it's somewhat of a challenge for him to find his rhythm again. And that's understandable. But he's still Jacob deGrom. The stuff is still the stuff. And he's talked about kind of pulling back a little bit, maybe not throwing as hard, max effort every pitch, which is also understandable given the injury history that he's had. But he is still an upper echelon pitcher. In my mind, there's no doubt about that when healthy, of course. And I'm anxious to see how he comes out of this, how he pitches the rest of the way, because it just seems to me it might be taking him a little bit of time to kind of get going again.
What's the main question you would have for Roki Sasaki this early in his big league career if you had an opportunity to sit down with him?
That's a good question. I'd like to sit down with him. He's pitching on Fox tomorrow. My main question would be, what do you think is the thing you need to get better at? What is the thing you want to do, accomplish this season? Is it adding that slider or incorporating that in a bigger way? Is it simply fastball command and split command? Where are you in the process? What has it been like for you these first 4 or 5 starts? How do you think it's gone? And do you feel like things are getting better? That's a lot of questions. I've got a lot of questions. So hopefully I can maybe talk to him at some point.
Hey, I know it's much easier to talk to Shohei Ohtani about his progress. I joke. Obviously, he's got a billion media members there, but I'll try and at least get something out of you on this one, because we did learn yesterday that he is still months away, plural. Dave Roberts said hopefully soon he's going to face hitters. Time of return still a couple months away, saying how he knows it's vague, but you can expect him to pitch this year and in the postseason. What was your reaction to the timetable?
Keyword, Scott, postseason. And they are slow playing this. It is not a surprise. They want him available for October. And it's as simple as that. Could he be ready sooner? I'm sure he could be ready sooner. He's coming off a major elbow surgery, his second one. Nothing to be dismissive of. But at the same time, it's been quite some time now, and he is a guy that certainly has progressed. He is throwing, and if they wanted to push him along and bring him back sooner, I'm sure they could. They don't want to. He doesn't want to. His goal is to be on the mound in October and do something that, well, Babe Ruth did it, but no one else has done it. Pitch and hit in October. So that's where this is at. No one should be surprised hearing the Dodgers say, not yet. It was always going to be this way.
And then one more on this series. Since you're covering it this weekend, there'll be a lot of eyes on it. I want to make sure we give the Rangers some love besides deGrom. What do you think of the state of the Rangers right now? They just swept an Angels team that was off to a nice start. It doesn't seem like their offense has gotten cranking. Wyatt Langford is on the mend in his rehab appearances right now. It looks like he'll be called up soon. So what do you think of this team early on?
I'm a little surprised that they haven't hit the way I expected them to. I believe I picked this team to go to the World Series. And the reason I did was the additions of Jock Peterson and Jake Berger. I thought with that and Langford coming on his second full season, or really his first full season, that they would be a team that would be back to where they were in 2023 offensively. They haven't gotten there yet. Adolis has hit well. Jonah Heim has hit well. Seager is Seager. He's been fine. But Marcus Simeon's been not good. Jock, not good. Berger, not good. It's early. I would imagine these guys are going to hit. The one thing that they seem to have going for them is pitching depth. And remember, they have at this point John Gray on the injured list, Cody Bradford on the injured list. They're coming back. And in addition to those guys, Jack Leiter's coming back. He'll be back sooner. And they just feel like at the deadline, they don't believe they're going to need pitching. Now, famous last words, right? And knock on wood. But they have positioned themselves in a way that they feel like they should be insulated if they lose a guy or two, or if they have to just kind of mix and match the rest of the way as we go forward this season. We'll see, but if they hit, it's a really good team. The bullpen's been better than expected. They had to patch it all together again after losing most of their guys in free agency. So I'm anxious to see how they kind of progress as the season goes along.
You did right with the Brian Snitker. You talked about him and how he's on the hot seat a little bit. We just saw Brian De La Cruz go down and then Alex Verdugo get recalled up to the big leagues. Was this part of the plan a little bit, or was it just a matter, Brian De La Cruz not producing a little bit? Because in the beginning of the year, they had a good amount of outfielders out there, that could play, and then all of a sudden they get a guy like Verdugo, a veteran presence.
First of all, Todd, Brian Snitker's not on the hot seat. They're not going to fire him. The question with Brian Snitker is going to be, will he return next season? And it's something where he wants to continue managing. That's going to be the issue. Not whether the Braves are going to dump a guy who won a World Series for them, has won a bunch of division titles for them, has done a tremendous job. So that's not happening. Now, as for the outfield, when they signed Verdugo, sure, the intent was to get him up as soon as he was ready. Remember, it was a late signing. Brian De La Cruz was never someone that you thought would be essential to their picture. The question going forward is going to be Kelenic. And can he get going and stave off maybe getting replaced as well? Because Acuna's coming back at some point. Now, they're going to need depth, of course. But Kelenic has not been the player that they hoped when they traded for him. They gave up a lot for him, or they took on some money for him. And that's been kind of a vexing problem for them. So that's something to watch with them. And certainly Verdugo, if he can produce the way he did in the first half for the Yankees last season, he'd be a good addition.
Ken, real quick, when you go into the locker room, I'm sure you heard about Patrick Corbin getting bit by the spider. He had a great start. Are you going to check to see if he has any spidey senses by just doing any little thing, like knocking over a cup, to see if he grabs it or something like that? Or are you not into the Marvel superhero comics?
Oh, I'm totally into the Marvel superheroes comics, but I don't know that I'm planning to enact that when I go into the clubhouse today. I don't know that would be well received or very professional on my part. But
all right,
I'm glad to see Patrick's okay, put it that way. And you know what? He's been a nice surprise for them. He's been a guy that they feel getting out of Washington, where he kind of had to be the number one, where he had the big contract. Maybe he'll be freed up a little bit and can be a solid back-end piece for them. And I forgot to mention him when going through their rotation, but he's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, he has. Right. He's been pitching good innings for them. And Kratz, you should save that question. We'll get Patrick Corbin on the show if he keeps this up. That is a perfect icebreaker question.
I just love that Ken likes Marvel.
Me too.
Ken and I, we made a connection.
Actually,
Ken?
As a kid, I was more of a DC guy. DC Comics, the Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Flash, that group. But Marvel's Marvel. I mean, come on. Nothing to sneeze at.
Well done, Ken.
That's cool. There's always questions from people, even when he puts this out, and this is perfect timing for it. Ken, thank you. Appreciate the time, by the way. But Fair Territory, we always promo, obviously, after this segment. We always see when you put your question out over the weekend, some people ask personal questions like, what do you watch? What's Ken about? So we got just a little bit, but enjoy the big weekend, Dodgers and Rangers. Yeah, those
are for me.
Thanks, guys.
On your burners. Thanks, Ken. Here it is, by the way, and you will get that tweet over the weekend. So if you have more questions for Ken, he might address them on an upcoming Fair Territory. Part of the FT Network, it's rolling Mondays and then Thursdays live with Alanna Rizzo, who's actually going to join us soon on this show for a review. Be right back. BetMGM locks. Well, the two people that won their locks yesterday get to survive and make it to the next FT show. The other one was given the day off. AJ Przinsky with a monster parlay, and I was following it, but it did not come through at plus 599. But I went plus 150 with the Tigers run line. That wasn't too sweaty. They pulled away nice and late. Yep, and I doubled down, so up 124. Kratz banger, picking up the pace, getting there. Todd Father is in second right now, up $380. Jonathan Papelbon's up $621. Todd Father, we have time for you to do your pick right now if you would like to enlighten us.
Tigers playing really well right now. They're underdogs, plus 120. Jackson Jobe on the mound. I'm going to ride that wave until they, find a way to get in a little losing streak here. They are a pretty good team. AJ Hinch has got them going. Jackson Jobe has been really well, 1-0, 3 ERA. I got him winning the game. Money line, plus 120, 200 to win 240. I know they got Cole Reagans. He's really good, too, for the Royals. But Detroit at home, I like them winning.
Yeah, Detroit at home. Money. Yeah, exactly. Jobe has the stuff. Obviously, Reagans is really good, but the Royals' offense is struggling right now. That was what everyone was worried about. The Tigers' offense looks like it's much better. So I like that play. I'm going to tail that tonight. I'm into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I tail the boys. For sure.
I got one that I think Kratz is going to like, too. Yeah, I'll do it now because it's going to be a pretty simple one. I got a little money line action on a plus bet. I don't know why this one's plus money, but the San Diego Padres at plus 120, it's not a pitching matchup you're going to know much about on either side, really. These are guys that probably wouldn't be in the rotation if everyone was healthy, but Kyle Hart's going for the Padres, and it could turn into more of a bullpen game for the Houston Astros. So plus 120 money line, Kyle Hart against Ryan Gusto. I know Merrill's out, but this is the best team in baseball right now, record-wise. I'm not sure what I'm missing there. And sometimes Kratz and I have these conversations. Yep, maybe, or maybe not. Or maybe I know something they don't know. Okay? Maybe. Kyle Hart, 2 good ones, 1 clunker. That was against the Cubs. When you get plus money in these situations, obviously it's not always going to come through. But if you take these, when you find these, just like Todd Father and I have, you're more often than not going to win. All right, Arena Club's going to help us hit a Shohei Ohtani update, and we'll talk about his card coming up in a moment too. But the legacy continues, and the storyline is super fascinating this year. So he's still a couple months away from pitching, according to Dave Roberts. They still expect him to pitch this season and in the playoffs. Timetables are going to be vague. There is no past precedent here, but the Dodgers are determined to get him on the mound at least at some point in the regular season to get ready and geared up for the playoffs. So, Kratz, we've been following the storyline very closely. What did you think of what Dave Roberts said, first of all, when he gives you like the a couple months? Everyone wants to know, like, when? When is this happening? Yeah. So can you start your response with a date of return prediction?
They can't. They can't start.
No, you.
Dave Roberts, can I?
Just give us, you
August
play
2nd.
Analyst for fun.
August 2nd.
Okay, there you go.
And I say August 2nd only because when I was thinking about this, if he's on a 6-man rotation, you just back everything up. They're probably going to skip a start in there. To me, that gives him anywhere from 7 to 8 starts, which kind of looks like the end of spring training to the beginning of the season. They'll know what they have. You know what? If he's not good, it's fine. But to me, I'm seeing 7 to 8 starts, especially after what Dave Roberts, who is one of the most upfront and open managers that I've seen talking about things and honestly talking about things. It's such a vague answer that I feel like that's where they're going to go. 7 to 8 starts, and if he's legit Shohei, he's starting in the playoffs for them, and the playoff rotation stuff is going to be easy for him, like in the sense of like there's enough off days to keep him healthy, and they just rear him to go, and they give him about 4 or 5 postseason starts.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard because you hear from people like, maybe he should never pitch again. Maybe he should just hit because he's the greatest hitter in the world. I would like to see him give it one more try. I mean, I can't give you a date. I've learned over the years with friends, family, never give a set date because then all of a sudden, if it doesn't happen that time, people are like, what are you talking about? And it's hard. It's hard to do. To give a couple months out, I don't even think Dave Roberts should even said that. So I don't know. I don't know. If there's something else they're hiding, I'm not 100% sure. But he's got to get going if they want him for the playoffs too. So, I mean, a couple months would be perfect, but in a perfect world, there really isn't when it comes to pitching arms. You got to be 100% healthy, and he's not going to be 100%. Nobody right now is 100% healthy when they do anything because spring training comes along, and now we're, almost a month into as well. So you're grinding. We'll see.
I think what you're referring to, and let's look at this card for a moment too, because we're talking legacy. Ohtani's 2024 Topps Chrome Update Red Refractor. That's a 10 of 10 PSA grade right there. You can find it in one of those slab packs right now on Arena Club. Obviously, you know the code. We'll talk about it later. But I mean, this is something we haven't seen from anyone, especially in modern times. And Todd Father, Dr. Tom House, who has been on this show before and who worked with Nolan Ryan and then worked with the quarterbacks like Brady and Drew Brees, right? He apparently was on a show recently and said that Ohtani shouldn't throw another pitch. Oh, he was on Pablo Torre's podcast. And he said he believes Ohtani's shoulder can't handle continuing to both hit and to pitch. Now, that's his opinion. Nobody's going to be comparing him to someone else because there's no one else to compare him to. And it has not been a clean bill of health for him. So, Kratz, what's your response to what he said?
Somebody with a name doctor in front of their name probably knows more, but that is tough. Think about it. It'd be different if he was a right-handed hitter leading out with that left shoulder. He's a right-handed hitter. That shoulder is going to get a lot of work going, throwing and hitting. Here's my thing. Let him play. If he wants to pitch, let him pitch. We get to see this. If this is what he wants to do, he's not doing it just for the team. I mean, just for like his glory. He's doing it to help the team. Let him pitch. He is a monster, by the way. Okay? He's like 235 pounds. He's a huge dude. He's not built like pitchers, and he's built like a running back, really. But maybe he can withstand it. Maybe he is built differently. Maybe he's able to handle this. I say let him go. But that's the fan in me, and it's not me. If he says, I don't want to do it, absolutely, don't do it. He should know his own body.
Yeah, I think at least another 2 to 3 seasons of giving this a go. Hey, there's the 2018 Bowman's Best Ohtani Refractor. As you can see, again, this is part of these slab packs that are on right now. They're live on Arena Club. And Todd Father's getting real jealous, but good news, Todd Father. You have your own showroom and you're in Arena Club. So go for it, big dog. You know what to do.
Let's go, baby. I'm ready.
Let's go. Get after it. Thanks to Arena Club for sponsoring the segment. And you can go to arenaclub.com/foul to use the code FOUL to receive 20% off your first slab pack or a card purchase. If you're just like, hey, I'm going after a certain card, it's there for you. Otherwise, the slab packs, like ripping a pack digitally, goes in your showroom. You want the card in person, you tell them, they send it to you. It's just an awesome service. So go check it out. Coming up next, Jackson Chourio makes his debut on FT.
Let me tell you how much I love my Homage shirt. I mean, listen, it's lightweight material, stretchy. This is the kind of stuff, Scott, that you can throw in the washer and dryer, and it's going to come out looking the exact same. The most important thing is you can get your favorite fan gear, man. You know me. I was once a Detroit Tiger 3 different decades, so you know I got to represent the old school D. You see it, the Tiger on the front. And not even, you've got options. Whatever you want, your favorite team. Make sure, biggest thing you do, go get that starter jacket. I know we're still in spring, still going to be cool in a lot of places. Make sure you get the starter jacket. It is fire.
Cam is styling right now. If you want to be like him, homage.com/foul territory and use the code foul territory if you're a first-time shopper on the site, and you can get yourself 20% off. Use the code foul territory. The name of the show and the brand is spelled HOMAGE. We're back for a couple minutes in the commercial break for the TV crowd. Everyone's going to get this one, of course. Jackson Chourio is going to make his debut on Foul Territory, so we're excited to talk to him. Alanna Rizzo is going to join us in a moment, too, so she can help us with interpreting the English to Spanish, the Spanish to English. Kratz is going to try to do that, as he always does, and he's actually pretty damn good. Top Father, he's pretty smooth. Pretty, not damn good, just pretty.
He's better. He's better than most, but I feel like he should stay with English and let the professional Alanna do her job.
Yeah, exactly. I like that face. He's like,
maybe you should take New Jersey and stay out of Tampa. How about that?
No, I'm doing my thing, kid. Hey, listen, this is going to be a great interview. Good ball player. Can't wait to ask him some questions and see exactly what this young cat guy's going on in his mind on a day in and day out basis. So excited.
Yeah, me too. If you have any questions for Jackson, let us know. You know, we are doing more and more of these interviews with interpreter help, and it's been awesome. So, you know, I loved when we had Junior Caminero on a couple months back. So here comes Jackson Chourio in like 20 seconds. All right, here we go. Brewers star outfielder Jackson Chourio joining us right now. We got a 5-box with Todd Father, with Kratz, and with Alanna Rizzo helping us out as well. So, Jackson, great to have you on. Obviously, Alanna, thank you for jumping on to help us. And just wanted to say hello to Jackson, how he's doing, and if he loves to do interviews and conversations like this with former players.
Jackson, bienvenidos a la programa. Gracias por tu tiempo. Buena suerte este año. ¿Te gusta estar aquí con nosotros haciendo estas entrevistas? Si quieres hacerlo en español, bien, yo te ayudo, pero si quieres hacerlo en inglés, yo te puedo ayudar también. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, excelente, gracias a Dios.
Yeah, he said he's doing good. He's happy to be here. So, guys, go ahead and I'll help you along the way.
Jackson. Mucho gusto. Hijo. Wow, hijo. You're just a little son. Hey, my question for you. Are you the best Jackson? ¿Eres el mejor Jackson en las Grandes Ligas?
No lo sé, la verdad que es una pregunta difícil de responder, ya que nosotros tres hacemos muy buen trabajo.
He said it's a hard question to answer because all three of the guys, obviously Jackson Merrill, Jackson Chourio, Jackson Holiday, all of them are very good players. So that's a very hard question for him to answer.
Okay, ¿Quién favorito? ¿Quién otro favorito? Who's your favorite other Jackson as far as like watching them play and who you get to see?
Merrill, la verdad que él juega de una manera muy bien, la verdad que me gusta cómo juega.
He loves the way that Jackson Merrill plays.
¿Por qué?
Siento que juega de una manera divertida, una manera alegre. Yo creo que esa es la manera correcta de jugar.
He said that he likes the way that he plays. Obviously, the way that he plays, obviously very fun, but he just likes the manner in which he goes about himself. The way that he plays the game is something that Jackson Chourio appreciates about Jackson Merrill.
That's great. I want to ask him, I know he hasn't played for a long time yet, but has he found a routine? Like, does he do anything specific before a game? Does he have any superstitions that he sticks to before a game as he goes?
Hay cosas específicas que haces entre el juego, antes del juego, tu rutina. Hay cosas que haces día a día.
Sí, no, la verdad que yo siempre bateo antes de la práctica con William, ¿sabes? Duramos casi 30 minutos bateando nosotros dos. Y la verdad que eso es algo que yo creo que es importante, ¿sabes? Ya que ahí me siento más en confianza para así ir a jugar a darlo todo.
He said every time, basically 30 minutes before the game, he does the exact same thing before the game because it's really important to have that routine for him and to be able to continue to build that confidence when he does those same things before each game, guys.
Tú sabes inglés. You know inglés. I see when we're talking. ¿Cuánto más años? How many more years until you have enough confidence to do all of your interviews in English. En inglés para otro año. ¿Cuánto más años para solo inglés y solo español?
Yo creo que como esperemos que 2 o 1.
Okay, so cerca, so you're close.
Sí,
So
sí,
he's
sí.
got one. He said 2 or maybe 1 more years. Importante. Is it important for you to do that? ¿Por qué importante para en inglés y en español?
No, la verdad que yo creo que hay bastante público aquí que me apoya, la verdad que es bueno también que ellos me entiendan de cierta manera, ¿sabes? Igual como con mis teammates, también quiero tener una muy buena relación con todos.
It's really important for him, obviously, that the fans, the public, obviously, the fans in Milwaukee and also in Major League Baseball, those are the people that are supporting him. And he wants to be able to have that conversation and that relationship with him, not only with the fans, obviously, in Milwaukee and around the league, but also with his teammates. It's important for him, obviously, to have that communication with his teammates as well.
I want to lean towards the team, too, a little bit here. It's a wide open NL Central. It's a really good division. I know they came out, didn't do their best in the beginning. How does he see these Brewers team making it in this NL Central and hopefully into the playoffs?
All right. En el división, los juegos están cerca, los equipos están cerca también. Ustedes, los Brewers, no empezaron el año como ustedes quieren, pero ¿cómo puede mejorarse este año para ganar el división?
No, la verdad que pienso que es una temporada muy larga, ¿sabes? Esto apenas va comenzando, queda bastante juego y sé que tenemos muy buen equipo para competir. Cada uno de nosotros siempre trata de dar lo mejor, ¿sabes? Haciendo cualquier cosa para así ayudar al equipo a ganar y la verdad que eso me alegra mucho.
He said it's a long season, as you guys all know that, obviously 162 games, and there's so many more games to be played. And the thing about what he's saying, guys, is that the Brewers are a good team, and every single person on that team is doing exactly what they need to be doing to help them win. So certainly not concerned on April 18th. I'm just throwing the date out there, but he's basically saying, listen, it's a long season. We know we have the guys in that clubhouse to get the job done.
Jackson, we have a fan question coming your way, and they want to know if you had any interactions with Bob Uecker last year. That was, of course, your rookie season, and I know many players and many people within the organization, have a heavy heart all year as we honor him, the late, great legend in the Brewers organization. So did you have any conversations with him, and have you noticed anything this year with players sharing stories?
Jackson, esto es una pregunta de los fanáticos. Quería saber si usted tenía una relación con Bob Uecker, que se murió cerca recientemente. ¿Había conversaciones con él o una memoria con él? ¿Qué puedes decir?
Sí, no, la verdad que yo siempre voy a recordar porque cada vez que entraba al clubhouse que él gritaba duro y decía, my friend, y yo volteaba y lo saludaba. La verdad que es un bonito recuerdo que yo me llevo de él.
One thing that he's always going to remember, of course, is every time he saw Bob Uecker, Bob would say, my friend. And that's something that Jackson certainly remembers and will always take with him regarding the late, great Bob Uecker.
What do you call your grandpa, Pat Murphy? ¿Cómo se llama Pat Murphy, abuela?
No, la verdad que él me ha ayudado mucho. La verdad que siento muy agradecido con él.
He's saying that he's helped him a lot. ¿Cómo te ayudó?
No, la verdad que él en algún momento habló mucho conmigo, ¿sabes? Me decía que él estaba haciendo lo mejor para mí y la verdad que tengo mucho que agradecerle. El año pasado no fue un año fácil, ¿sabes? El primer año es fuerte, ya que uno tiene muchas expectativas, quiere hacer muchas cosas y él supo cómo manejarme, la verdad.
The thing that he learned the most was last year, obviously, in his first year, his rookie season. The first year is a very difficult year, and there's a lot of expectations, especially, obviously, with the fanfare that he came to the big leagues with. So Pat Murphy, abuelo, as Erik Kratz called him, grandpa, helped him along the way. It really helped him find success at the big league level, but also, just to learn the steps going through the big leagues the first season in his rookie year.
Can you give us one example? One example, because we saw in spring training, Pat Murphy didn't give you your number right away, and then when you made the team, you got your number. Was he harder on you, or was he like softer, kind of like a grandpa, or was he more like a harder on you as far as like an uncle?
Hay un ejemplo porque cuando antes de la temporada empezó, tú no tenías tu número. Después de la temporada se empezó, Pat Murphy te dio tu número. ¿Era más fuerte contigo antes de la temporada o después?
No, la verdad que él siempre me ha tratado bien, la verdad que me ha hecho sentir muy especial desde el día 1 y la verdad que me siento muy agradecido con él.
He said he's always treated him really well, that there's never been a hard, he's never really hard on him or soft on him, that he's always treated him with respect and treated him really well, honestly, since day one. So not mean to him, not overly either way, just good to him all the time.
I want to talk a little off the field stuff here too. I see he's rocking a little Adidas there, has that swag going a little bit. Talk a little bit about what you like doing off the field, and are you a dressy guy? You like rocking, the chains, the clothes. Talk a little about what you got going on.
¿Qué gustas hacer afuera del terreno? ¿Qué gustas de hacer para divertirse? ¿Qué tipo de ropa quieres poner? Y tú sabes, joyas y todas las canelas y todo eso.
No, la verdad que yo soy alguien muy sencillo. Yo no me gusta usar muchas cadenas, la verdad. No soy muy amante a eso. Yo lo que sí juego bastante es videojuegos, ¿sabes? Me gusta jugar The Show y Warzone, la verdad.
He doesn't like to do too many chains. He's not that much of a flashy guy off the field, but he definitely plays MLB The Show. So he takes baseball with him and plays MLB The Show when he's not actually playing baseball on the field.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're definitely playing. What about the cleats? Do you have any cleats that you're like customizing, that you're like trying to, kind of like Quentin Berry, your coach last year? Quentin Berry always had the nice zapatos, no ganchos, sí. But he always had the nice shoes, no cleats.
Sí, no, y esperemos que pronto vengan unos bonitos ahí que me van a dar.
Oh, okay, so he's giving us a little bit of a tease here, guys. Apparently, there's a new pair of custom cleats coming out, I believe, from Adidas that it's coming out pretty soon. So I guess be on the lookout for something very special and specific for Jackson Chourio and Adidas. A little bit of a tease there, gentlemen.
Wow. Whoa. ¿Qué color? Necesito más. I need more. What color?
Eso va a ser una sorpresa.
It's a surprise, Kratz.
Okay.
Surprise.
Está bien.
Well, okay, wait. This might not have anything to do with it, but what is your favorite color?
¿Qué es tu color favorito? No necesita estar con los zapatos, pero ¿qué es tu color favorito?
Yo creo que azul.
Blue.
Blue?
Yeah,
okay. What's
it's got to be Brewers colors. I mean,
yeah, that's what I figured.
Come on.
You never know. Okay, so this could be related to Jackson. I want to know who else, whether it was when you were growing up or now, that you really love to watch in the sport, just for entertainment purposes. Not that you're taking anything from what they do, but whether you like the way they play, their swing, their style, any of that. And yes, we do have a former Brewer, Erik Kratz, on the show.
¿Qué pelotero te gustaría mirar cuando estaba niño para saber, entertainment solamente? No para su juego, pero para mirar.
No, la verdad, yo no veía mucho los juegos. Pero últimamente no, pues desde que empecé a jugar así profesional, me gustó mucho la manera como Julio Rodríguez jugaba, o sea, juega, pues, y eso me llama mucho la atención porque él la jugaba alegre, o sea, se veía que en verdad le gusta jugar, pues, ¿me entiendes? Y esto era algo que a mí me gusta ver en él.
He said, in all honesty, he didn't get to see a lot of the games growing up. He didn't get to watch a lot of Major League Baseball games, but one person he did like to watch when he had the opportunity was Julio Rodríguez, the way that he played, and obviously the way that he still is playing with the Mariners. Just the way that he played with alegría, with always happiness and really enjoying the game. And that's something that Jackson does as well. Just plays the game with a lot of fun, with a smile on his face. So I guess in terms of that question, guys, Julio Rodríguez was his guy.
There you go. Well, that's cool. Also making us feel very old because Julio's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years or something like that. We do have his cleats, actually, by the way. He probably knows. Julio's got the style game going. But, Jackson, this was awesome. Great to have you on. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us and keep crushing it.
Gracias a ustedes.
Okay, gracias por todo y buena suerte y buen salud. Gracias, Jackson. Que lo vaya bien.
Igual.
Thank you so much. Gracias. Jackson Chourio, Milwaukee Brewers. Alanna, thank you. You're the best. FT fam, we'll be right back.
What's up, my people of FT Nation, all my money makers at FT that are following Parlay Pat. Let's keep it rolling. I got a 2-game parlay for you today. Pretty simple. 2 of the greatest pitchers in our game right now going up against each other. I got a no-run first in the Marlins and the Phillies game with the Alcantara-Wheeler matchup. And I'm also going over 4.5 runs for the Washington Nationals going up against the worst team in the big leagues with only 3 wins in the Colorado Rockies. So let's get that cheese. It's easy cheese today, and let's keep it rolling. We up over $600, and let's keep getting that Parlay Pap money.
There you go, Pap. Pap's got a plan. He's got an approach, Todd Father, at the plate. His approach is, and I know it's a little different today because he's hitting some good pitching, but his approach generally is, which 3 teams suck and which, if not all 3, am I going to pick on tonight?
Yeah, and it's hit or miss, as Kratz knows, because he's tried to do the same thing in these parlays, and parlays are very hard to hit. I like the no runs first inning, and we'll see how the rest goes there. But he's winning, so you got to ride that wave with him. So if he's doing well right now, you find the guy that's hot, and you keep rolling with him until they're not.
Kratz, your pick?
I'm going over 4.5 Ks for Martin Perez. It's paying out at, I think it's -110. Martin Perez is going up against the Red Sox. Martin Perez has gone 9, 5, and 4 in punchies. The Red Sox strike out at over 25% clip on the season. So let's pay out that money.
And each of you, give me a home run pick tonight.
Adley Rutschman going against a lefty, facing Andrew Abbott.
I'm going just because I'm at the game here. Aaron Judge, he missed a couple yesterday. He's going to get into one today.
There you go. Okay, so you've got all the info. You've got a lot of things to play with tonight, depending on who you're following. There are your picks this evening. There you go, Kratz. You got a -110 spot. The rest of us going for some plus money this evening. Good luck. Also, BetMGM is the place for your home run picks, the long ball, okay? There's a home run boost token. To find out more about it, you can activate it in the BetMGM app, and if a player goes yard, you'll receive a bigger payout. That's how a boost works. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLING. So I don't forget, because the show will end. The crowd ends today. No bonus time. Kratz, your hats.
I mean, I almost took it off to Chourio. Lo mismo equipo. Same team.
There's no chance he knows you.
Not a chance.
You know why? His favorite player is Julio Rodriguez to watch growing up.
That's what I put in the chat. I said he thinks Julio Rodriguez is old. Julio's like 24. Reality? Think about it. When you were a freshman in high school, you looked up to the seniors. Julio is a senior to Jackson Chourio.
That is why. Yeah, Chourio's 21 and
Love it.
Julio's 24.
Yeah. Freshman, senior. That's so cool. I love that.
3-year differential. That's crazy. We're going to try to do more of that. And yeah, Jackson, by the way, just turned 21 years old.
He has his birthday in spring training. Cake every year. I love birthday cake. I love birthday cake.
former Brewer, you're allowed back in. You can go just for the birthday cake next time. Go help them out. Crush some spread.
Fill out the candles. Yeah, I'll crush some spread.
We're at the finish line here, so let's make sure we promote a couple things. Number one, Todd Father on the Yankees games, so those ratings soar, please, because he's crushing it. So I promise you, just like last night, I caught about second half because I was not home, but second half I caught. It was great, and that was the good part because for you, the Yanks came back, and I will catch the whole thing tonight, so make sure you give Todd Father some love with Mr. Michael K. And on Monday, there you go. On Monday, Kratz is going to be on an altcast. Finally gets the invite. He'll be on playback. Ruben Amaro Jr. too. We've got a Mets-Phillies game. So it's Kratz. It's Amaro. I'll be on there. And then we're working on one or two others from the FT Network fam. So make sure you check it out. There's a QR code on your screen right now. You can smash that. That'll get you to our playback page. The system is free to use. playback.tv/foul territory. You link your MLB.tv account. We all watch together. Apparently, they also have been getting some of the in-market streaming, which is a big deal too. So if you have like the streaming for the Phillies or the Mets online, then you can watch even if you're in the market. So Kratz, prepare yourself. I think Amaro is going to do like innings 1 through 3 or 4. Then you'll take over. So just get yourself prepared because this is your one shot.
Vomit on my sweater already. I think it's mom's spaghetti, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Otherwise, you don't get the invite after that. No, I'm kidding. But we're back on Monday, the usual FT. Actually, you know what else? I'm actually taking a little bit of time off coming up. So Alanna will jump in. I'll be here next week for the first few days, but next week on Thursday and Friday, and then the week after, I believe, on Monday. So those 3 days. Alanna will take over. You know what? I'm going to give you we had 30 seconds left. I'm going to give you one of the guests we've lined up during Alanna's time taking over because this one's pretty cool. Bartolo Colon.
Oh, nice.
Big Bart. What's he up to?
That's pretty cool. Big sexy, all that good stuff.
Big sexy. And we'll have obviously the English to Spanish when he needs it.